What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of the J&J's Double Play Top 5 Countdown video. For this list, I will be looking at the top 5 locations where the Raiders will play in the 2019 season. So, a little history before we get started on this. Why are the Raiders leaving Oakland in 2019? And aren't they moving to Vegas? Well, yes, they are moving to Vegas for the 2020 season, but for the 2019 season, they will need a new home. Because last month, the city of Oakland filed its lawsuit against the team and the league, alleging antitrust violations and breach of contract when the Raiders decided to move to the city of Las Vegas. So, when the city of Oakland sued, the Raiders pulled their $7.5 million lease offer to play in the Coliseum for next season. So that begs the question, where will the Raiders play in 2019? And if I'm honest, I really don't know. And really neither do the Raiders, though they would prefer to play one last season in the Coliseum. Now that the lawsuit has been issued to the NFL and the Raiders from the city of Oakland, Mark Davis could look to play elsewhere for the 2019 season. And I know what you're going to ask, why don't they just move to Vegas a year early? Well, technically they could, but they would play in a subpar UNLV stadium that is not up to NFL standards, and the Raiders won't want to put the money to upgrade it if it's only a one-year fix. So I believe that the Raiders will be playing elsewhere in the 2019 season. And without further ado, let's get into my top 5 new stadiums the Raiders could be playing in for the 2019 season. Number 5, the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. A few years ago, the Raiders flirted with San Antonio before ultimately deciding to focus their efforts to move to Los Angeles. And then when that didn't work, they went to Vegas. So San Antonio caught the really short end of the stick. The positive things about San Antonio, though, is the facility is an NFL-ready facility, but it's a great distance from California. There are not that many Raider fans in Texas. Texas is composed of primarily Texans and Cowboys fans, so the Raiders would be the third team there. But if it's just for 1 year, it probably wouldn't be a horribly bad idea, for the Alamodome can sit over 70,000 people and was the home of the New Orleans Saints during Hurricane Katrina. The one thing I do see that this might be difficult is that the Cowboys and the Texans, as mentioned earlier, both play in the state of Texas, and it's hard to imagine that they would share their revenue with the Oakland Raiders, even if it is for a season. And the final nail in the coffin for why this is only number 5 on the list is that Mark Davis has been on the record by saying that he is not a fan of the Alamodome's turf. Unless upgrades are made to the playing surface, I don't see San Antonio as anything but a last resort for the Raiders. Number 4, Levis Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Raiders owner Mark Davis doesn't like the idea of being a second team in Levis Stadium and paying rent to the 49ers, but the 49ers might love some extra dates to fill up their stadium. After all, Levi Stadium was built to house 2 NFL teams. The 49ers could easily accommodate an extra tenant. The Raiders easily could move there for a year and stay in their home market of the Bay Area, which this idea would make the most sense to me, but it just seems like Mark Davis doesn't want to do this. It also might be the league's preferred option if the Coliseum is out, because it doesn't mess with any other markets. The league certainly could nudge the Raiders and 49ers into a pact for one season, so we'll keep an eye on Levi Stadium as an option going forward. Number 3, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I couldn't find a lot of concrete evidence to support this pick, but this makes too much sense for me not to leave on this list. State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals, would be more than adequate to support the Raiders for a season. It's about 4 hours outside of Las Vegas, which is close enough to help grow a fan base of Raider fans in the Las Vegas area. The only downside I see of this stadium would be, as previously mentioned earlier in the Santa Clara pick, was that Mark Davis doesn't like paying rent to other teams. But if the rent is substantially cheaper than it would be if he would have paid at Levi Stadium, then I don't see why not. Also, an honorable mention would be Tucson, Arizona, for the University of Arizona has gone on the record and said that they would be supportive of the Raiders for one season if they chose to move there. So we'll keep an eye on the Arizona market going forward as well. Number 2, Oracle Park in San Francisco. Oracle Park, horrible name by the way, but we'll get into that later, has come up as a potential host for Raiders football next season, and the Giants confirmed that they are talking to the NFL about that possibility. While playing in a distinct baseball venue seems odd on the surface, it isn't too far-fetched when you look into the stadium's history. formerly known as AT&T Park, regularly hosted college football bowl games, and the Giants mentioned in their statement it was Cal's home site in 2011 while Memorial Stadium was being renovated. A major concern is the NFL's impact on the baseball playing surface. After looking at the Giants' 2019 schedule, there are ways to minimize that issue. One idea is that Raiders often played 3 of their first 4 home games away from the Coliseum anyway because of the Oakland A's, so they could easily schedule it like that as well in AT&T Park. I'm sorry, Oracle Park. I will never get that stadium right. Should just kept the name. Anyway, I digress. AT&T Park / Oracle Park would be a great home for the Raiders, and it would have a beautiful setting in the background with the ocean behind it. I think it'd be one of the best views ever to watch a football game. And my number 1 option, San Diego. Yes, San Diego just lost the team, and San Diegans are still reeling over the Chargers relocating and becoming the, let's say it with me so we can all get this right, Los Angeles Chargers. Still not used to saying that. The market, which housed the Bolts for 56 years, could be a football-friendly market with a large Raiders fan base already residing there, and all throughout Southern California for that matter. I mean, I'm sure there would be more Raiders fans in the stadium when they play the Chargers anyway, right? Although San Diego's football stadium is aging, it would be a perfect one-year fix for the Raiders. 1, they wouldn't have to leave California. 2, there's already an established fan base in the Southern California area of Raiders fans that will attend the game and sell them out. And 3, it would give San Diego the chance to show the opportunity that they are still a viable NFL market. And who knows, this might lay the foundation for a football team to return to San Diego in the near future and prove both Spanos and Roger Goodell that they messed up moving the Chargers to Los Angeles. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 picks for where the Oakland Raiders could play in the 2019 season. I look forward to doing more of these top 5 videos throughout the year. And as always, thank you for watching and have a good day.